Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. Today, Kyle Bauer is visiting with Brad Greenway, the chairman of the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance. Then enjoy this week's Kansas soybean update. Next, Wayne Taves and Brad Carman with USDA are talking about changes at USDA, including the new farmers.gov website. Then it's this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update, and we'll end with Plain Talk featuring Kyle and Dwayne. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first, Kyle Bauer and Brad Greenway are talking about the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I have the opportunity to visit with Brad Greenway. He's the chairman of the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance. Brad, talk just a bit about your farming operation.
Okay, I actually farm west of Mitchell, South Dakota, and so my wife Peggy and I, we have a diversified farm. So we raise corn, soybeans, wheat. We have a beef cow herd, and then our main enterprise is probably our pig farm.
And being River West, are you River West? Just east of River. Okay. But you are the chairman of the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance. Tell me what that involves.
You know, I served on the National Pork Board, and so my role on U.S. Farm and Ranch Alliance, that's how I got on the U.S. Farm and Ranch Alliance, is representing National Pork Board. And honestly, so U.S. Farm and Ranch Alliance in 2010 started out as 6 organizations coming together and say, you know what, we need a unified voice to talk to consumers about how food is grown and raised. Since that time, in 8 years, we're a little over 100 organizations right now covering all aspects of agriculture for both crops, livestock. We have some food service people on there. There are just a number of organizations, and so it's really a neat thing. I think it's the first time it's been done to bring a broad spectrum of agriculture together, and U.S. Farm and Ranch Alliance has done that.
Truly, the amount of funding that each organization contributes is completely up to them.
It really is. And so we've got all the way from premier partners, allied industry partners. We have commodity groups from pork, soybeans, corn, egg, poultry, all of those involved, to Farm Bureau, to State Farm Bureau. And so there is the funding levels. We just want the involvement. So there's different levels. It takes a certain amount to have a board seat. Right now we have 18 board members on our thing. We could go up to 24, and of the board makeup, it would have to be 8 livestock, 8 crop, and then we could have 8 premier partners or allied industry. And right now, out of the 18, we have 15 of them are farm and ranch organizations that are on our board, and so we truly are represented by farmers.
Truly, over just 8 years, though, you've come quite a long ways on getting that word out. Most of it is done by how?
You know, I think the thing is, and I've always brought this around, that a lot of times U.S. Farm and Ranch Alliance is what I've seen in the time that I've been involved with it, is we're going to places that commodity groups themselves probably wouldn't. And I'll give a few examples, whether we go to a food tech conference out in California, or we go to a Food for Tomorrow event in New York. I don't think the commodity groups would do that, but an organization like Farm and Ranch Alliance, when you have collective of 100 plus groups, it does carry some weight. And again, it's just talking to consumers, talk about how we've changed our farms, and I'm very proud of the way we've changed our farm at home, and so many farms have, and why we've done that. So talk about sustainability and the environment, and it really is. Right now, consumers are interested in how their food's growing, and it's a perfect opportunity to farmers to be part of that voice and explain what we do every day on our farms.
Visiting with Brad Greenway, chairman of U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas soybean update.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Hi, I'm Kim Mandarin with Hardy Insurance. I'm here to help you with all of your farm and ranch needs. When it comes to protecting your operation and your family, you need a name you can trust at a price you can afford. Call me today or visit hardyaviationins.com.
What does a brighter, more sustainable future look like in our cities and towns, and how do we get there? When New York needed an alternative fuel source to reduce carbon emissions, the city found what it needed in biodiesel, made from U.S. soybean oil.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Dan O'Brien, K-State Research and Extension Grain Market Analyst, joins us. And Dan, even though nothing officially has happened yet, the looming threat of tariffs has soybean producers worried about what could be coming if the United States and China don't agree on some type of a compromise for both parties.
Without question. I think that there are questions that have affected the confidence of soybean producers here in the U.S. with regard to where, first of all, Chinese input demand might come from, and again, how it might affect our exports. I do think that the announcement made by the Chinese has caused a shifting around of the directional flow of business. There are reports within the last week or so, but even Argentina, a major exporter of soybeans, now pulling beans into their own country. And I think that this is symptomatic of their short crop on the one hand, and also what's likely a temporary demand pull for Chinese soybeans out of Brazil. So with China focusing on Brazil, it's causing a shifting around of business in the world. If you look at 2007, 2008, the world is using about 230 million metric tons of soybeans. What's projected now for this marketing year is 342, so well over 100 million metric ton increase, and growth at about a 4.9% rate per year. And then with that, and exports over that time have also increased basically at a rate of about 9% per year. What I wonder about is where we'll be after the Brazilian supplies play out in a month or so, and China, as a buyer, has very limited options in terms of other places in the world to turn. If there's going to be a disruption in trade, this was the time to have it, basically, when the Brazilian supplies were available. Well, what happens when the Brazilian supplies are not so available 2, 3, 4 months down the road? By that time, I would think we probably have a resolution to these current discussions and the necessity of China, other countries, to have to come to the U.S. for supplies. In the long term, we see no abatement in the growth of world demand for soybeans. I would see this as more of a question how in this 2018 time period, how flows will work themselves around for users in these various countries to still get their supplies. The supplies that they need for livestock feeding, for crush, for oil production. From there, we'll see where we all go.
All right, Dan, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Greg. Take care.
That's Dan O'Brien, K-State Research and Extension Grain Market Analyst, who joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more with Dwayne Taves and Brad Carman, Assistant Deputy Secretary of Farm Programs at USDA.
What if U.S. soybean oil were an industry sensation? If end users started asking for it by name? That future is here. The time is now. To meet customer demands, the Soybean Checkoff is investing in varieties that produce oil with increased functionality. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
This Medford, New Jersey school bus runs on biodiesel, and so do these. In fact, all of these buses run on clean-burning biodiesel, which is great Because the more we use biodiesel in our heavy-duty vehicles, the less carbon pollution in our air. Think how great it would be if more of our school buses ran on biodiesel. More biodiesel, less carbon pollution. More is less. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
This segment brought to you by SureCrop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now, Dwayne and Brad Carmen discuss changes at USDA, including a new farmers.gov website.
Dwayne Taves joining you once again here on Ag AM in Kansas, and an opportunity to catch up with Brad Carmen with USDA and acting administrator of some of those programs within USDA, and some policy advising to new opportunities at USDA as well. Brad, talk a little bit about what you do and why the importance is there for growers across the country.
So the Farm Service Agency provides a safety net for farmers. We run lots of programs. Probably the most famous is ARC PLC. We have Conservation Reserve Program, which helps the environment. And farmers come to us usually as the first choice for the safety net programs.
We think about why that's important. Obviously, in today's market economy that we're in, there are tumultuous times, be it weather adversely affecting producers or the marketplace that's just pretty tough at times with low commodity prices. It all impacts producers, and through that safety net, they've got some options now to look at revenue savings.
Sure. In the 2014 Farm Bill, a new program, ARC PLC, farmers are able to insure or protect against revenue losses under the ARC program and price losses under the Price Loss Control Program, the PLC program.
So can you tell us a little bit about, from the policy advisory capacity, what exactly it is, entails, and how we're trying to do things differently at USDA?
Sure. I met with the secretary the day after he was sworn in. Right after he was sworn in, we were dealing with the wildfires in Texas and Kansas, and the secretary ingrained upon us that first day our focus should be on customer service. Who are our customers? Farmers. So he told us that we need to, whenever we issue rules, we need to make sure we're taking care of the farmers first. And one of the first things the secretary did was put together Undersecretary's Office, Farm Production and Conservation. And that combined Farm Service Agency, NRCS, Natural Resources Conservation Service, and RMA, the Risk Management Agency. Those three agencies deal with farmers. So we have common customers. We have one undersecretary now, and our undersecretary has just confirmed today, Bill Northey, will be coming on board soon to help us implement all programs under the three agencies.
We think about for the producer, most of those are all in a one-stop shop environment there at their county office. It only makes sense that we do a more coordinated effort. There's no need to replicate and multiply some of those forms and data that's already there and available if the head office will approve it.
Right. The secretary said, he's visited some of the county offices. He says oftentimes there are two doors, one for NRCS and one for FSA, Farm Service Agency. The secretary said to the extent there's a wall dividing those two, take down the wall, literally take down the wall, have one door for the customers to come in, so either agency or both agencies can service that farmer.
And ultimately it is those tax dollars that supports the budget. When we get that passed, obviously another farm bill will be put in place, and hopefully we continue to see the kind of cooperative effort from the top down.
Correct. Also, the secretary said we want to have a presence on the internet. We developed a new website, farmers.gov. It deals with the three agencies, RMA, NRCS, and FSA. One place for farmers to go to find information about government programs. We're currently building that right now, and we want to solicit advice from producers on the design and what information should be on there. So if farmers go to farmers.gov now, they can send us their comments. We'll help us develop that website.
Our thanks to Mr. Carmen with USDA joining us here on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Dwayne. Come back after the break for this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update.
My name is Bill Meredith, and I farm about 7,000 acres. We raise about 150 head of longhorn cattle. It was real frustrating for me to not be able to have my hands on it. When I'd come down in the morning, almost cry because my back was hurting so bad and my memory was so bad, and had been to Mayo's Clinic feeling like it was nothing was happening as fast as I'd like to see it happen. My land guy come and pulled up beside me and he asked me how I was doing. I told him I wasn't doing worth a darn. He was telling me about this treatment they were doing down there in Manhattan. Anyway, we come up here and got this treatment, put some in my shoulders because I couldn't bend my head like this. I finally started getting my memory back, and I'm able to do about everything I was doing before, maybe more. I went outside and raised my hand and praised the Lord, you know.
Welcome to our Bar B, 8,000 plus square feet Western store with something for everyone in the family. We have boots, belts, hats, jeans, anything you could want to outfit you and your horse. Come visit our line of saddles. We have 400 plus new and used saddles in stock. We offer tack, grooming supplies, headstalls, breast collars, you name it, we've got it for you and your horse. That's our Bar B, 1 mile east of Highway 4 on Northeast 39th. Our Bar B, where Western is a way of life.
Heinen Brothers, a fourth-generation Northeast Kansas farm family, knows how tough farming can be. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag, selling and servicing crop protection products, fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia, cover crops, quality aerial and ground application. Call today to learn about our extended term financing program. 800-760-4964. HeinenBrothersAg.com.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways, of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at KFRM.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Agriculture is caught in the crosshairs as the U.S. and China announce back-and-forth tariff proposals. Farmers are poised to take the brunt of the tariffs from China if all are imposed, as commodities including soybeans, cotton, and beef are on China's most recent tariff target list. However, a comment period is open, and Cody Lyon, Managing Director of Advocacy and Political Affairs for the American Farm Bureau Federation, says farmers need to share their concerns now.
Farmers and ranchers depend on free trade for a living. In many areas of the country, farmers and ranchers are very concerned about the retaliation resulting from the announced tariffs. Farmers and ranchers need to comment on the need to oppose higher tariffs. Between now and May 11th, farmers and ranchers can send that message to the U.S. Trade Representative. And after May 11th, the U.S. Trade Representative will have 180 days to make a final decision.
China continues to add more agricultural products to its target list, which includes beef, cotton, pork, nuts, and soybeans, to receive tariffs up to 25%. Soybeans and cotton are our top two ag exports to China.
After Canada, China is our second largest customer for ag exports, and it's very important that that market remains open. Nothing will make up for the long-term loss of global markets should these tariffs be put in place, and farmers and ranchers would much rather earn their income from the international marketplace, which is why we need to have these barriers removed.
Comments are being accepted through May 11th, and Farm Bureau has made it easy for farmers to submit their comments.
We know that free trade gives America's farmers and ranchers an edge in the global economy, and we're asking farmers and ranchers from around the country to submit comments to the USTR at fbadvocacy.org. Again, that is www.fbadvocacy.org.
Michael Clements, Washington.
Stay with us. We'll be back after the break with Plain Talk.
SureCrop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer and work with you.
Fort Wallace was the fightingest fort in the West. Fossils, Indians, soldiers, scouts, wagons, trails, pioneers, stories. Discover the story of Fort Wallace and the people who served here, the people who fought here, the people who settled here. Wallace County, where the past is present.
Hi, I'm Randy.
And I'm Paul from PFI.
We would like to personally invite you to stop by PFI, home of Boot Daddies.
PFI is America's Western store, covering over 50,000 square feet.
Over 25,000 boots.
Visit Saddle City with the largest selection of saddles and tack anywhere.
A huge selection of hats at Big Spur Hat Company in PFI Town.
And choose from the best brands of clothing and accessories for the entire family.
PFI, located on Highway 65 at the Battlefield exit in Springfield. And I'm not kidding.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Dwayne are up to on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with the smirky Dwayne Taves. What you smirking about?
Well, I was checking out myself in the picture over there.
You like what you see?
It's kind of tilted a little bit. I'm going to have to work on that.
Yeah.
Your fact or
tick
fiction
in your ear?
Question of the day. A full head of human hair. Strong enough to lift 12 tons. Fact or fiction?
A full head. Now, what the world does that mean? Okay, let's take some.
Like the bald guy doesn't have enough.
Well, I was going to say that. How much tons?
12 tons.
Oh.
24,000 pounds.
All right, so you're going to braid it together. Boy, a hair is pretty strong. Wow. I'll go with true.
That's what it says.
You know, you think about that. You take a woman with long hair. Well, the reason I use woman is because I don't see that many guys with big heads of hair. But, you know, with a big head of hair and you braid all that together.
You make a rope.
I bet you that's exactly what I was thinking.
You can make a rope.
You'd have a rope that big.
Sure.
And you have a rope that big.
You can pick up 12 tons.
As long as you have a nice smooth surface around it. You might have to be a long. Rapunzel would have to let down her long hair.
Yeah, something.
So
like
you'd be
that.
able to pick it up.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a rope made out of human hair?
Not out of human hair, no. Horse hair.
You have?
Yeah.
What was it
Horse
used
hair
for?
rope.
What was it used
was made
for?
as to rope cattle.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, that's what they did. A lot of cowboys back in the days of the Wild West.
So you just keep adding to
you just
it.
keep adding to it.
I mean,
They'd
you'd add
pull
like
hair out of their tail.
And was it braided? Sure, it'd be braided.
Yeah.
And so I remember one time I trimmed. Well, I didn't trim it. I have this comb that gets things out of horse's hair, but it kind of the way it gets it out is by cutting the hair.
Just cuts it off.
Yeah, kind of.
Thins it out.
Yeah, it thins it out and that sort of thing. Well, he had a lot of burrs in there, and I had this nice brush, and so I was just brushing away.
You roached it, didn't you?
Pretty soon he has this little old short tail about this long. And it's like,
how embarrassing.
It
for
was
the horse.
embarrassing for all of us. And the horse's tail does not grow back very fast.
No.
I bet it doesn't grow 3 or 4 inches a year.
Oh, it grows more than that.
Well, it's not a lot
it
anyway.
Just keeps breaking off.
So then and some horses, their tail doesn't break off near as much as others, right?
Yeah.
And so the farrier came over to work on his hooves. And
did he laugh?
Well, he was kind of making fun of the horse, and he said, "What happened?
Fault.
What happened to that horse?" And I said, "I don't want to say." And he said, "He get too close to the goat's pen?"
No, got too close with Kyle and a brush.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.